my name is Pouya Hamidi. I'm a composer and a sound engineer. And I have composed since I was 8 years old when I first started playing the piano. And I came to Canada when I was 12 years old. So right now at the moment, I do half of my work is composing and half of my work is kind of sound engineering, working with artists to realize their vision and album, capturing their sound in different genres. I also lead an ensemble called La Dome Ensemble, which is a combination of piano, cello, percussion, and accordion. And we have toured across Canada, and we perform my compositions in addition to other composers as well. So compression is a very interesting topic. It's actually one of the hardest things to understand in terms of audio production. It took me years to really get a sense of what it is. But to a basic level, it controls the dynamics in sound. If you look at the waveform, it's like playing kind of soft and then it gets really loud and then soft. So I use a compressor to kind of automatically, without me going on the fader and pushing my finger on the fader or with the mouse, it controls it automatically. And you see this is a song called Ambient Song that I wrote for a dance group. And you'll hear this cello where if I don't put a compressor, you'll see the sound get really loud and then really soft in one specific note. But then I put a compressor and you'll hear that it's more compact. And when you're listening as a whole with all the other instruments, you hear all the notes better. Then you can raise the volume up like that. So that's kind of the first way I use compression creatively, is just to control the dynamics. Another way you can use compression is to add color or timbre or tone. So not just control the dynamics, but add distortion or different colors to the sound. So you'll hear that I gave an example. I'm really making the compressor work hard, and it's compressing really fast, and it is adding a lot of color. A lot of compressors, they have a breaking point. When you get to that breaking point, they add certain colors and tones. And sometimes we use that to our advantage. Instead of it being kind of clinical and kind of digital, when you use compression in a creative way in terms of distortion, it gives it like an organic sound. So you'll see that in this example. Another way I use compression is what they refer to gluing the mix. What does that mean, gluing the mix? So it means that you put a compressor on the entire mix bus or the entire final fader in your audio program, and you put a compressor, and whatever sounds come through, the compressor reacts to that. And it kind of squishes everything in a way that makes it kind of feel like cohesive. not out of place, and that's called gluing the mix. And usually you do like 3 to 4 dB of compression. Another way I use compression is a technique called sidechaining. Sidechaining is where you feed a signal from another track into another track into its compressor. So then when that compressor sees that signal, it kind of ducks the sound. So then it makes room for that other sound. So in this example, you hear a kick drum, boom, boom, boom. It's being fed into the snare. And the snare is constant, like doing 8 notes. And whenever the kick drum comes, the snare goes down. And then whenever the kick drum goes away, the snare comes up. You could do this by hand, but it would take like a long time. So you can set up parameters that it does it like automatically. And it's a very cool, creative effect to use sidechaining. So when you're first starting to learn compressors, don't be discouraged if you don't hear a difference when you see the compressor going. It's one of the audio processes that is more subtle. But what I encourage people to use is just play around and push the compressor more than you would actually use. Always push it more and then try to see what it does to the sound. And the bypass button is very important. Bypass and make sure you hear the difference. And the other thing about the bypass is always make sure when you are applying compression, the volume is the same as when it is not without compressor. So when you bypass and bypass, the volume is the same. Because when we have the differences in volume, our ear thinks, oh, it sounds better, it sounds worse, but we may not be even doing anything. So that's another tip for compressors when you're just starting out. And the other tip I would give is there are so many different types of compressors out there. It's kind of overwhelming, even for me. And if you're starting out, just start with your stock compressor that comes with your digital audio workstation or your audio program. You can get so much with that, but don't use a compressor because you saw somebody else use a compressor. Use it because you think it will get you the results that you're after in terms of the sound. So in the studio, there are these magical moments which I call happy accidents, where you are in the flow and you're just trying different presets or just experimenting with shapes of sounds in the compressor, or you try different types of compressor that came with your audio station and you get surprised. You're like, wow, this sound is amazing, like I didn't expect it to be coming. And even if you don't understand what's happening under the hood, it's totally fine. Nobody is going to question, like, why did you pick that compressor setting? If you're happy with the sound and it's adding the color and tone that you like, then you're all good to go. So you can find out more about my music at my website, pouyahamidi.com. There you can see the list of my compositions and my work with my dome ensemble and my electronic project, and also a list of my albums that I've worked as an engineer. That's kind of the central hub. And then you can follow me on Instagram, Pouya Music and Sound, and Facebook as well. Just type my name and it should come up. So.